The important thing to be aware of with bullying is that unlike discrimination and harassment, which fits under our equal opportunity legislation, bullying does not. Bullying is hidden within the occupational safety and health legislation. And I say hidden because you won't actually find the definition of bullying in that piece of legislation. You won't actually even find it in the regulations. You have to go to the code of practice before you get this definition that we're going to have a look at this morning. The important distinction to make with bullying as separate from harassment and discrimination, where in fact you only need one incident to have occurred in order for someone to be able to make a successful claim, is that for bullying the behaviour has to be repeated. The courts don't care though whether or not the behaviour is the same sort of behaviour that's occurring over and over again, or it's different sorts of behaviours occurring over a period of time. What they're really looking at is that there's a pattern of behaviour that's occurring. The second part of the definition is that it must be inappropriate or unreasonable behaviour. Of course, that begs the question, what is inappropriate? So I was having a look at the legal definition, and the legal definition says that inappropriate is that which is not appropriate. The third part of the definition is really the hardest part to be able to apply when you look at it. So if someone is engaging in repeated inappropriate behaviour, there also needs to be a risk of mental or physical harm to that person in order for it to be bullying. And that's why it comes under the OSH legislation, because OSH is all about providing a safe workplace. And bullying is considered to be an unsafe work practice. Unfortunately, the problem with this definition is this. If someone is engaging in repeated inappropriate behaviour, how are they going to know that it's causing a risk of mental harm to somebody? You see, we've got a pretty good idea about physical harm. We've got a pretty good radar around physical. But generally, we don't know what's happening in somebody's head. And what we do know, that if someone who's doing something that's inappropriate to someone else, there's a good chance they won't tell them. And so we often won't find out that it's causing someone mental harm until it's too late. When they've exploded, when they've suddenly resigned and said, I've had enough, I've put up with this for too long. So here's the risk with the definition. So this is what I say to people from a risk management perspective. When you have a look at this definition, I'm going to give you a more conservative view of the definition. This is what it looks like. If someone is engaging in repeated inappropriate behaviour in the workplace, then assume that it's causing risk of mental harm to that person. Assume, and then modify the behaviour accordingly.